Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Quest for You. I'm Janine. This is my little podcast that comes to you Monday through Friday. I release my episodes at night, so you have them first thing in the morning. And I want to be part of your day, to give you some inspiration for your day and maybe some things to think about that address maybe something that you've had in the back of your mind for a while. And maybe give you some clarity. Today's episode 207, hit pause. Have you noticed that we are always on the go? We always do something. And if we have downtime, then we distract ourselves. We fill our minds with stuff. Always doing. Always the need to be useful and productive. Constantly forcing something so we can get somewhere. Making money so we can afford more distractions. Have you noticed that much of what we do every day has an end goal in mind? All your daily actions, the constant grind, we are hoping it will result in something larger, like success and happiness. We constantly strive. I know I do. We make plans and we schedule. There's always an idea in the back of our mind on how things should be and how they should go. Think about it. You wake up already to a list of stuff that needs to get done. When something interferes, no matter how beautiful the distraction, we get uncomfortable. This wasn't planned. It cannot happen. I often feel it. I'm so wrapped up in my planned out day, I don't appreciate the sudden, often small interferences anymore. I don't recognize the opportunities they bring. The chance to meet someone, to see something unique, to have time for a thought or an idea. Have you noticed that it has become really hard to hit pause and just take a break? To be flexible and spontaneous? To do something that's not planned? To be just in the flow? And to let things run their course? I think hardly we allow time for this. The mantra of our life is in the doing. It's in interfering and the regulating of events. It's in the imposing of our perceptions of life on other people. And it's in the forcing of our beliefs on how things should be that we live our life. And we forget that there's also a flow to life that is not controlled by us. Just look at nature. Animals and plants don't need a plan on what to do every day. They just exist. We are also part of nature, but I think we often forget that. I believe there's a reason so many of us recharge in nature. Because it reminds us of this natural flow that is inherent in life. And that we really don't need to do anything to experience joy and happiness. Listen to this passage from Lao Tzu. In pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less do you need to force things until you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. True mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. I'm not suggesting you drop everything and just watch the sun rise and set every day, but I am suggesting that we start increasing our awareness to the fact that there is a natural harmony in life. Every time I have let go of control, things fell into place. And every time I have forced things, they fell apart. We lack trust. That's where the problem begins. We don't have the confidence that things will work out without our doing. There is this ambition that drives us, and most of the time, it gets rewarded. Good grades in school, a nice job, community leadership, and so on. Ambition is good, but ambition can also take over the areas of our life that don't require it. Ambition brings a sense of entitlement. I work hard, so I should be getting this. I'm a mature person, so everyone else should be the same way. My time is limited, so you better appreciate it. Ambition forces biased opinion and personal agendas. It imposes our will onto others and it dictates the terms. When we overly identify with our ambition and desires, we experience suffering. I notice it all the time. When things don't go my way, I get frustrated. When I don't get what I think I deserve, I get anxious. Something must be wrong with me. My way isn't a bad way. It's just not the way that life always flows. And to recognize this, to acknowledge that we are not in charge of everything, that life itself has its own flow to it, and to practice letting go of our agenda from time to time. We need to hit pause more often. We need to take a break from all the doing and forcing and focus on undoing ourselves. Instead of always trying to control who we are, what if we just let ourselves be who we are? When we allow things to be as they will take their natural course. When we embrace the concept that we don't always have to react to everything, problems will work themselves out much quicker and with less stress on our lives. What if we leave things alone more often? I always really liked this aspect of the religious practice of turning things over to God. It doesn't absolve us from responsibility, but it removes the pressure of having to do something all the time, especially with things that we don't really even know what to do with. When we pause once in a while, we will become aware of this innate nature of ours that comes from our ego. When we learn to observe our mind, we will realize that we don't need to control life down to every little detail. And the best place for me to learn this is by spending time in nature. It helps me realize that I sometimes need to allow life to happen and to run its course, just like nature does. Another area where I observe it is when I do what I love. The activities that give me joy, such as sports or writing, they put me into a flow state. This is where I don't require any effort or pushing. Everything comes naturally to me, and I instinctively know what to do. When we hit pause, it gives us the chance to turn the volume down on our ego. Remember that our personality is driving our actions. The more we are driven by ambitions and desires, the more forced our actions will be, because they aim at accomplishing those needs. What if we downregulate the sense of I and just allow life to flow naturally more often? We can still do our work and live our lives, but we don't need to identify with it. Instead, we can identify more with our heart, our natural way of being. Every time I let go of doing, I recognize opportunity. A thought to be explored, a bird that sings to me and inspires me to listen to music more often, a word on a page that nudges me to write again. Letting go of doing and hitting pause is being alert without being active. It allows the nervous system to revitalize itself. It's that amazing feeling when you watch the waves come and go, or the snow-covered trees glistening in the distance. Hitting pause brings the mind back into effortlessness. It's when you become still in the mind and present in the moment, right here and now, not somewhere in the future or lost in the past. It allows you to begin to experience reality as it really is, right here, accessible anytime, if we decide to tune into it. And you know, from my last episode, if you didn't know, that I'm a huge fan of Rilke. In a 1903 letter to his prodigy, his name is Capus, Rilke writes, "I want to beg you, as much as I can, dear sir, to be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and to try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms, and like books that are written in a very foreign tongue. Do not seek the answers, which cannot be given you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer." Isn't this beautiful? So maybe today you feel encouraged to hit pause and to stop responding to every tweet, like, or comment, to even put down the phone for a while, to close the calendar and stop planning out every hour of your day, and to leave the coffee even, or the energy drink alone that are meant to get you pumped up so you can get more stuff done, and to just be for a bit. Maybe go for a run, a walk, or write, to feel the ground underneath your feet, the breath inside your lungs, and to experience the flow of life, trusting that everything is as it should be. Much love.